is it that I always feel like those who've gone before me have said all the things I needed to say? And when I get the opportunity to go first, I forget all the things that I need to say. But thank you all for being here. As I was sitting listening to the comments, I was reminded of one of those topics in college that are really hard to forget. That was in one of our lessons in education foundations, when the lecturer posed the question, are teachers made or born? And it's a very interesting debate. And like most scholarly debates, there's probably no definite answer. At the end of it, we agree that, well, it's a bit of both. I qualified as a teacher, I think about 23 years ago, although I taught for about 5 years. Madam Jane and Mary, I hope I'm not yet deregistered. No. Okay. And one thing that I noted was that while I had a lot of physical energy and enthusiasm when I started working, somehow my results, or the results of the learners that I dealt with, kept on improving over the years. And so by the 5th year, I was teaching history and government. But by the 5th year, I could see my students scoring very high grades. And my conclusion was that there is something that happens as you gain experience. Something that I may not have had when I started teaching, but over the period of 5 years, I got more and more of it. And of course, yes, you can call it experience, but that experience comes from exposing yourself to different scenarios, getting to know your learners, such that whatever situation presents itself, you are probably better placed to address it. I mean, teaching learning situations. I don't have a driving license. I don't know how many of you have. My wife has, though. And she told me that after those many months of taking driving lessons, the day she took her test and passed, the police officer who was examining her told her, okay, you have passed. You can now go and learn how to drive. I don't know whether they say that to everybody in Kenya. Does that sound familiar? And I think it simply means that however hard you train, you might never possibly anticipate all the situations that you're going to be confronted with. And that's why what we call experience gets better with time, because as you continue doing what you're doing, you are exposed to more and more diversity, and you get to know probably how to respond. And when we are talking about inclusive education, we are actually talking about diversity. And even if you were to be trained for 1,000 years, you may never get all the skills that you need to handle or intervene when it comes to diversity. So I want to believe that most of these development programs prepare us to be able to identify and recognize a situation that is different and the fact that it calls for maybe a different approach or a different intervention. I have interacted a little bit with the Commonwealth of Learning, especially the build-up to the conference that Mr. Wambua has made reference to, and I know they do a good job. And the emphasis or the focus that is on teacher development is a very worthy focus, because we do know that our learners are as good as the teachers that we have. And situations keep on changing so much that what I probably learned 2-3 years ago might not be very helpful if not updated this morning. And that's why the government, in its wisdom, has invested a bit of resources in ensuring that we train teachers, and through other government agencies, like my colleagues from the Teacher Service Commission are here, the whole issue of professional development gets a really important position in that discussion. The Kenya Institute of Special Education is one of our premier institutions in this country. And it is because of this institution that even the Directorate of Special Needs Education exists. It made a significant contribution towards the creation of that particular directorate. And the whole discussion in the disability rights movement in this country has benefited a lot from graduates of this institution. And therefore the ministry was very happy, that must have been 2 years ago, when the issue of the partnership, the ministry, the Commonwealth of Learning and Kise partnership came up for discussion. The ministry endorsed and supported that very well. So I am happy as a person working with the team from the special needs education, a subsector, that indeed different organizations are coming together to make sure that the teachers that we have in our schools are not just qualified or competent, but up to date on issues or on matters in education. The ministry last year launched the policy, sector policy for learners and trainees with disabilities. And while our directorate is definitely biased towards disability, the thrust of that policy is inclusive education. So any effort that is channeled towards making a contribution to inclusive education is one that is quite welcome. So be it teacher training, development of resources, pedagogy, as long as it considers inclusive education, then that's something that the ministry will be happy